Hello and welcome to the Energy On Show. The show where everything revolves around your energy. I'm Dr. Cornelia Kavan and I would like to invite you into my world of energy. Because if you see your life from the energy perspective, everything is just energy. Your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs, everything what you're doing, you are trading against your energy, or you're trading your energy for. And today, I would like to talk with you about how to make friends with your emotions, because our emotions, they can be really energy vampires. And I grew up in a family where it was not very common to show and speak about emotions. So I grew up that, with the belief that emotions, if you show emotions, you're also showing your weakness. Yeah, because you don't have a poker face. And when you're showing your weakness, you're giving up your power. And of course, I didn't want to give up my power, right? So I really thought that emotions are something very uncomfortable and unnecessary. And I always, of course I had my emotions, but I never learned how to deal with them. So I just pushed them aside. And I thought they would go away on their own, right? They come from somewhere and they're going somewhere. And unfortunately, it took me quite a while to figure out that the emotions, they just stay. If you don't, work with them and acknowledge them and let them go, they are just staying. And it took me really ages to figure out that that my problems in my digestion was coming from some really big stored emotions. And so I really looked into it once I realized it, and where they came from. There was a lot of fear and loneliness, and then I found out that this came when I think I was around 6 years old, when I had to go to hospital for an appendectomy, so if you remove your appendix. And at that time, parents were not allowed to stay in the hospital and to comfort you. So my mom just brought me there, and I didn't know what's gonna happen. Of course, the doctors were very nice, but they were just supposed to do their job, right? And I was really panicking inside. There was so much fear and worries, what's gonna happen, and how long do I have to stay, and is somebody picking me up afterwards, and will everything go smoothly, and I will be healthy again and can run around and play. And I couldn't talk about it. I couldn't even ask all these questions. So I was really kind of left alone with all this fear and this loneliness. And this was stored in my digestion. And once I removed, miraculously, now it's working fine. And so I would like to share this 6 steps process with you, how you can make friends with your emotions, because that's part of life, that we're having emotions. So the first big step, and it was a very big step for me because I never learned it, is to stop numbing your emotions. And because when you haven't learned to deal with your emotions, you're kind of trying to numb them, or and there are different possibilities how you can do that. Yeah, in a way you can always go for some distractions, like watch a movie, meet with friends, or even reading a book. So everything that keeps you from acknowledging your emotions. But you can also be completely busy, right? So you're just too busy to feel and to deal with your emotions. That's also possible. And here the advice is start feeling your feelings. And this sounds really easier than it actually is, because if you're not used to it, you really need some awareness to realize, okay, I'm feeling this, but that's already kind of the next step, that you start not running away from your feelings, but in a way acknowledging, okay, there is a feeling. And then the next step would be to identify the feeling. And this gave me a really hard time as well, because if you never deal with your emotions and you just want them to go away, it's difficult to name them. And of course, you know the main ones, like if you really grief or sadness or anger, rage, we all know that, yeah. But how does shame feel for you, right? Is it that you're blushing and getting hot or feeling hot, or what's the difference for you for anxiety and fear? Or what's the difference in feeling disappointed or discouraged? And so I'm still on my way on naming my emotions, and so I have the main ones now I know. But it's not that simple if you don't grow up to point now I'm really angry or something. If you're not saying it, then you just don't connect a name to the feeling. And then the next step, when you say, okay, now I feel angry, then you can also feel where do you feel it in your body? Do you feel it like in your gut, or does it feel like somebody punched you in your stomach? You have difficulties to breathe, or your throat gets tight and you have difficulty to swallow. There are different areas where you might feel this feeling, and it also probably depends on what feeling it is. So it's good to kind of scan your body. Where do I really feel it? And then the next step would then be to look a little bit behind the scenes and figure out, why I am having this feeling right now. What triggered it? And this can be, there are different possibilities. Maybe it was a thought that came up, and then this thought is connected with this feeling. If you're having this thought more frequently, then you're having also this feeling more frequently. But of course, it can also be something you saw. Maybe you were just on Insta and you saw a post from a friend, and you were not in line with the message of this post, or it can be a complete stranger. But it's just that you saw something that triggered you, or maybe it's also you read something and it was triggering you, or somebody said something to you and that caused this rush of emotions. And so it's always good, okay, now I'm having this emotion, but actually, why do I have it, right? And that would be kind of the next step, that you create more awareness, this linkage between, okay, if this one is sad or if this one is happening, then I'm feeling this and this emotion. And then the next step would be, I think it's step number 5. Then you, yeah, then you say, okay, I feel this feeling, I see it, and then you just decide to let it go. So, because you're having this feeling, you are not this feeling. So whatever you're having, you just can let go. And here different possibilities, you know, depends on what kind of person you are. It's good that you may be speaking with somebody about it and share your feelings, or you can write it down in your diary or just on a sheet of paper. Or you just can work also energetically on it by just acknowledging this feeling and then decide consciously that you let it go. And then you can really kind of imagine, you can close your eyes and you can imagine that this feeling, wherever it is in your body, you just let it flow out through your upper body, your lower body, your hips, through your legs, knees, into your feet, and from your feet into the earth where it's going to be transformed. And then you just wait until this feeling is flowing out of your body. And then step number 6 is practice, 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 right? Just, you know, start being more aware of that when you're feeling a feeling, and then just go through this process, and you will see you will go faster and faster and faster. And I think this is kind of really the most important part of this exercise, that you in a way appreciate that yeah, you're having these feelings, and this is kind of part of life, and you don't need to run away from them. No, they're just there, but they won't stay forever, right? If you have this process, you can let them go, and this gives you also some, yeah, safety and security, and it gives you some comfort that even if the feeling is there, if you just look at it and let it go, then it's gone, and it's not stored in your body for ages. And in general, like, if we avoid to have negative feelings like anger, fear, or sadness, it's their polarity, right? So if you don't want to feel the negative feeling, you're kind of cutting yourself off also from positive feeling, like joy and fun and laughter and all, because feelings per se, in a way, they're kind of neutral, yeah, if you let them go, but they're, you know, there's one side and the upper side and the lower side of a coin. So if you don't want to have this part, you probably, it's more difficult for you to experience also the positive feelings. And that's why that's also kind of the salt of this in the soup of our life, yeah, these emotions, that they are there, and we can feel them. So to sum up the whole process, just point out the 6 steps. So the first step is that you stop numbing your feelings, and that you start identifying them. Then you look at what is triggering them. And third step is, where you feel it. Then you look into it, what is triggering it. Then you let them go. And the sixth step is that you practice them. And I can only, recommend it that you appreciate your feelings and that you kind of start of being friends with them and also manage them, because it makes such a difference. In my life has shifted completely, not only because I started my energy work, but also when I see also our emotions, they're just energy. And so you can work with this energy and you can let it go, as many other energies as well. And it makes you feel lighter, and just being aware that yes, the feelings, they're there, it's okay, makes you also more resilient against situations that just show up all of the sudden, because that's life. I'm curious about how you handle your emotions, and if you tried that process, share your experiences. You can do that on my Insta account or at Cornelia _energy_ on, or also here on YouTube. I'm really curious to know more about it. So all the best and energy on!